Hello everybody, Teetotaler Fox here. This is going to be my first game of Fortnite. I've never played this game before. If you're wondering why I already have the skin, I literally waited for this skin to go on sale so I could get it. This is pretty much the main motivating factor to play this game. But with these videos, I wanted to try something different, a different type of format rather than just gameplay and commentary that's related to it. So for today's topic, I wanted to talk about entertainment media versus educational media, because I think it's a pretty important dichotomy for us to think about when we are consuming media and just, enjoying ourselves online, watching videos. Most people watch a lot of TikTok, a lot of YouTube. I'm the same way. I watch way too much entertainment media and not enough educational media. And so the first term I wanted to go over was media itself, the term media. So the word media really derives from the term medium, which is just the way something is moved around or conveyed. So for an example, if you were in class and you were to pass a note to one of your friends, the medium would be the letter, the paper that you wrote the message on. So the medium is just a way for something that gets to somebody else. So for online, the medium is, it's video, it's audio. Those are the mediums, and that's what the term media really means and what it really derives from. And so the important thing, the big difference that I can say between entertainment and education is that entertainment doesn't really directly benefit you in a way that progresses you intellectually or in any other matters. So, for example, watching a bunch of TikTok and meme videos on YouTube doesn't really better you personally. It doesn't make you more knowledgeable. It doesn't make you more skilled at important matters. So, it's you can kind of think of like entertainment as a time waste in terms of progress. So that doesn't necessarily mean, because I know that could be taken out of context to mean that entertainment is exclusively bad and you should never consume any. You do need breaks from time to time. We do need entertainment. We need breaks away from things. You can't constantly be grinding at your homework and reading important books and literature and just nonstop just taking in educational stuff and bettering yourself 24/7. It'd be the equivalent of going to the gym every single waking hour and constantly building your muscles and working out. It's not a very sustainable thing. You need to have a good healthy balance. So you need to have the main argument of this video is more so that we should have a balance between entertainment and education. Not too much of an imbalance of one or the other. Because I've known people, it's pretty rare, but usually people are more on the entertainment side of imbalance rather than the education side of imbalance. But either or can kind of give you a unhealthy lifestyle. Someone who's, obsessed with the entertainment side of like TikToks and meme videos and stuff like that, they don't really progress, they don't really mature, they don't become more intelligent or knowledgeable or skilled, because they kind of just waste all their time on entertainment. On the other side of the coin, which is much more rare, to be fair, that if you're just nonstop spending time on education, you're not spending your time elsewhere where you could be, socializing with people and helping other people. Like, educating yourself should be something that is useful not just to you but to like others. So if you become like knowledgeable or skilled at something, it would be great if you were able to educate and make those people around you that you care about more knowledgeable and more just skilled and better in every single way. It's like the two kind of like extremes of like just extremely being invested in entertainment or being extremely invested in education is that the balance is bad for pretty much everybody. To me, it's always kind of been, there's not a huge point in pursuing education if it exclusively benefits you. That's just kind of like a selfish endeavor. If I'm reading and I want to learn something, it's because typically I want to not only because I'm curious about something, but I also want to help other people as well. So, I mean, think about like studying medicine as a doctor. Think about how many different ailments and curatives and all these different things you learn about and read about. What would be the point of you learning about these obscure maladies and illnesses and their cures if you never plan on actually putting that into practice? If you never plan, like, think about it, if someone did everything that a doctor did, but then they never cured anybody. It's kind of a waste. It doesn't really make any sense. So it's like that balance kind of needs to be struck in there for both sides of the coin. So before I ramble on too much about that, I think I should go give a good term or a decent explanation of what educational is. So I would say education, or something that's educational, is something that is something of value, and it's actionable, meaning you can put it into practice. It's a skill that you can actually use to make your life or other people's lives better. So there's no real point in education if you're just learning a bunch of facts just to pass like a test. Sure, that may help you, in your college and get a degree and stuff like that, but you want to actually understand something. You want to actually have it be useful to you. That's the ultimate purpose of education. And so for, educational media, there's obviously not as much. The entertainment media land space is just so great. They make tons of money off this stuff. YouTube and Facebook, they're basically just entertainment media companies, and they're extremely rich. They're multi-billion-dollar companies. So you don't see some small like community college being multi-billion-dollar companies. They make like a decent amount of money, but education doesn't rake in the money. So there's not a huge incentive for education. But I think it's really important that we try to strike a balance between entertainment and education. I would say, what's more balanced than 50%? I would say probably 50% would be a pretty healthy balance. So, and entertainment, just to clarify, isn't just only doing TikTok videos. If you're awake, say 16 hours a day, I'm not saying watch 8 hours of like TikTok videos. Entertainment is a bunch of different things. You hang out with your friends, you socialize with people, you do things that aren't geared towards you basically just sitting down and reading educational material and thinking through educational problems. So it's very important to remember that entertainment, we have a very different idea of like what entertainment is than like the word that I'm using like this sense. Although I think the term educational that I use is pretty much similar. So I would say try to strict between like a 50-50% balance if you can, if it's possible. Because I know when I got pretty big into academia, when I was pretty big into reading and studying and doing schoolwork, I wouldn't take very many breaks, and I wouldn't take very long breaks from education. And one of my big things that I like to do is actually read, but when you go from doing just schoolwork and working at schoolwork and reading, doing tests, doing homework, and then your break is that you're reading other educational material that isn't related to your coursework, you're not really getting a break. And I have definitely noticed that it takes a toll on your mental health. You need to have those breaks from something. You need to have rest from. You can't do the same thing 24/7. You need to have breaks. You need to have rest from them. And to be honest, if you're just flooding information at yourself, you're not really going to retain it, and you're probably not giving yourself the required amount of time for you to understand that material as well. If which is something that's pretty important. I think when you read something that you want to know, you actually, because there's a difference between being informed and being knowledgeable. Being informed is you just know some fact. Being knowledgeable is you know why that fact is a fact. So there's a big difference between that, and you can just remember, and route memorization is typically a term people talk about when you just remember, like, the sky is blue. So route memorization is just remembering that sentence. But actual knowledge is understanding why the sky is blue. So, and to go back to earlier, when you learn something you actually want to know, you should spend time reflecting on it. You should spend time and actually stop and take a break, be like, oh, do I actually understand this? And try to think about how it relates to everything and how it works. Try to actually understand, like, the mechanics, the mechanisms that work to make that actually, instead of just having it route memorization, you can try to actually gain knowledge of something from reflecting on what you've read and what you studied. And your brain can passively work on that stuff even when you're not actively consciously thinking about things either. So you can go take a break, you can go, like, take a hike, you can, play video games, you can do other things while you've already read something that's, difficult and hard to learn, because you can't get things instantaneously that are complex. They take time for you to dissect and understand, and I think that's kind of also a big problem with the way that we view education and intelligence, because we have, especially in, like, Western societies like the United States, we have the idea that if you're intelligent, you can acquire any understanding near instantly or very, very quickly, which is just not really the case. And I think it's kind of absurd that we have that. Well, not kind of. I think it's explicitly absurd that we do think that way about education and knowledge. Especially when you look at mathematics as a field, some of these algorithms that you learn going through, high school or later in college and stuff, some of these algorithms were the entire life's work of a very good mathematician. Sometimes a very good mathematician will only contribute one, algorithm or formula that was adopted. That's like their entire life's work. So I think it's very absurd that somebody who spent their entire life, maybe 40 plus years of their time in their life, to contribute one algorithm or formula to the field, and then expect students to learn and understand it fully within maybe the space of a week, maybe half a week. Just think of how absurd that is. They spent their entire lives, and they're like, oh, little Jimmy doesn't understand this extremely complex concept within, like, 3 days. He's an idiot. Don't waste your time on him. It's completely absurd. But to get back to the main point, I think we should try to strike up a balance between entertainment and education. And you'll notice that there's a very big difference between the two. It's much more difficult for the average person to focus on education, on educational things. And I think that's partly for a couple reasons. I think for the first reason is that we use intellect and knowledge as, like, an egotistical thing, which if you pursue education, especially things that are more difficult, things like, harder, like, well, a lot of things can be difficult when you go deeper into them, but, harder mathematics, harder physics, any deep field that can be very difficult. I think what demotivates us on, like, an ego level is that if we don't get something very rapidly or very quickly, or if it doesn't make sense to us, it dissuades us from pursuing education. If you pop up a YouTube video, a TikTok meme video and stuff like that, we pretty much already know we know the punchlines, we know what's coming, we already understand the meme video. They're not complex things that are hard to understand. So picking up and consuming entertainment is easy. Pretty much anyone could do it. So they're kind of geared that way. While educational things can be difficult, and also the quality of education matters a lot too. I would say the entertainment media sphere definitely has way more quality than the educational sphere has, unless maybe you're talking about like the top like 1% of like universities like MIT or Harvard or something like that. Then maybe those beat out the entertainment media sphere in terms of quality. But for the rest of schools, for the average person, the 99% of people that go to other universities, other colleges, public school, public school. Don't get me started on that one. But the quality is not there. And so you need to employ other tactics to kind of patchwork the education. Because you may have a book that your professor thinks is very good, but it might not be the correct thing for you. You might not have the foundational knowledge. You might need different supplementary sources to help back you up on education. But and the motivation between entertainment or educating yourself, they obviously take on different connotations. Entertainment is you just want to, you want to laugh, you want to have fun, you want to feel good, you want to feel elated, you want to ward off depression, stress. That's a huge motivators for entertainment. And then for education, the motivators are typically you want to better your life. You want to, you want to be more intelligent. You want to get a better paying job. You want to be able to help people, help your friends and family. Because when you think about it like this, if you're not knowledgeable about anything, how are you supposed to help people that you care about when they get sick or they get injured or like their computer breaks or their car breaks, and then you know nothing and you have no skills? You're just helpless. Like, you cannot help the people you care for, and it's not a great feeling. So that's a pretty big motivating factor right there for education. Is that you want to, I guess you could say it's a form of power, but power typically can have like a negative connotation. But when power is applied in, correct ways, in acceptable ways, power can be a very good thing. So, I mean, look at a teacher. A teacher has a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill, the ability to teach you about a subject or whatever you're interested in. That is a form of power, but they use it in a good way. Use it in a beneficial way to other people, is what I'm saying. So, anyways, that's about it for the video. Thank you guys for staying tuned for here. I'm gonna keep trying these different types of formats, hopefully improve with them. Thank you all for listening. I hope my conversation about the difference between entertainment and educational media kind of helps you. Hopefully it helps provoke some thought about things. And take care, everybody, and have a good day.